All right, so here are the notes for 2-1. We're talking about the laws of logarithms. All right, so it says let b be the base of the logarithm function, okay, where b has to be greater than 0 and it cannot be equal to 1. So see this little bitty number right here, that's called your base, that little b. Let m and n be positive numbers or variables. So m and n need to be positive numbers. All right, so now it tells you your law right here. So you've got when m times n, it expands to the log b of m plus the log b of n. So you just split the m and the n with a plus sign in between. Now when you have m divided by n in your log, you're going to expand it and it's going to be m minus n. So you have a subtraction sign in between them. Now law 3 tells you that when you have m to the k power, so when you have an exponent, that to expand it out, you put the k, or the exponent, in front of the log. And then it becomes log b to the m. So you just move the k in front. All right, let's practice a few. So on number 1, it says log base 2, b is 2, of 5 times a times b. So that's you're going to use law 1 up here, and you're going to split it out. So m plus n is what the formula tells you. So you're going to have log base 2 of 5 plus log base 2 of a plus log base 2 of b. So because it's 5ab, we just split them out with plus signs in between. So now here we're going to have log base 5 of 8 over x. This is going to be law 2 because you have m divided by n, right? 8 over x is what it looks the most like. So you're going to write it out, but here now it's telling us to subtract in between. So you're going to have log base 5 of 8 minus log base 5 of x. You just take the top one minus the bottom one. So now let's look at number 3. First, these are all multiplying, so we're going to use law 1 first. We're going to split it up. So you're going to have log base 2 of 6 plus log base 2 of x squared plus log base 2 of y cubed. Right? We just split them. The 6, the x squared, the y cubed with pluses in between. But now law 3 tells us that when we have an exponent, like we do on the x squared and the y cubed, that you're going to move it in front of the log. So we're going to rewrite it using law 3. And you're going to have log base 2 of 6, doesn't change, plus, now your 2 is going to come in front, so 2 log base 2 of x, plus move your 3 in front, so 3 log base 2 of y. So that's your answer. Okay, so now let's look at number 4, log base 3, and you have 4/8 squared over b times c squared. So you're going to have log base 3, it's going to be what you're going to use for everything, and you're going to have 4 plus log base 3 of a squared minus, so it's telling you minus, now you have b over c, parentheses, because this whole thing is on the bottom, log base b, log base 3 of b, plus log base 3 of c squared. Okay, but I put this in parentheses because this minus is this whole thing is on the bottom, right? And you're multiplying the b and the c squared. But now you have to distribute your negative sign. So it becomes this, rewrite the beginning, plus log 3 of a squared. But now you're going to distribute it. So it's going to be negative log base 3 of b. But now negative goes in front of this one because it's got parentheses. So negative log base 3 of c squared. We just distributed this negative sign to both of these. Now then my last step is going to be moving my exponents in front on my a squared and my c squared. That was law 3. So we're going to rewrite this. Log base 3 of 4 plus 2 times log base 3 of a minus log base 3 of b minus 2 times log base 3 of c. So where I had my exponents, I just moved them in front using law 3. All right, so let's see, let's flip over to the back. So in number 5, this is the same thing as log of a to the 5th over b to the 1/2, okay? The square root and to the 1/2 power are the same thing. They're equal to each other. So if you're going to rewrite this, your 1/2, your power is going to go in front. Remember, we said our power comes out front in front of the log. And you have log of a to the 5th minus log b. Because remember, this is a minus sign when you have division. So now the last step would be to write 1/2, and you're going to have the 5 for your exponent. It's going to come out front in front of the log a minus log b. So that's your answer. Now it tells you a note when there's no base. See how this didn't have a little b here? There was no base written. That it is understood to be a base of 10. Okay, this is known as a common logarithm. So when it doesn't show it, it's understood that there's a 10 there. Okay, so like on this one, see how we didn't write a little b? We didn't write it, our base. Okay, if it's not in the original problem, you don't have to write in the answer. Use the logarithms to condense. So now we're condensing. So now it's giving us the long version, and we're going to go backwards and shorten it. All right, so let's see. Log base 5 of 7 plus log base, or 3 log base 5 of x. So they both have log base 5. So we're going to combine those, and it's going to become log base 5 of 7x cubed. Okay, because the plus sign is telling me the 7 times the x, and the 3 in front of the log is telling me that the x is to the 3rd power. So now let's look at number 7. You have a minus sign here. Same logic though. So you're going to have log base 2, because they both say log base 2. But now you have, since you have a subtraction or a minus, that's telling me that it's x over 3. Now then 1/2 log 6 base 6 of m minus 3 log base 6 of n. So remember, anything in front of your log is your power to that variable. Going, reversing it from what we were doing before. So you're going to have log base 6 to start off. And now you're going to have m to the 1/2 power on the top. But since it's subtracting, that's telling me I'm dividing. And you're going to have n to the 3rd power because of the 3 in the front of the n. Makes that to the 3rd power. So now let's look at number 9. 3 log base 2 of a minus log base 2 of b. So they both have log base 2. So you're going to have log base 2. Now then you have a minus b in parentheses. So that's telling me that that's a divided by b. That's what law 2 says. And then we're going to put that in parentheses because it's to the 3rd power. The 3 up here is for both of these. So that means that these two need to be in parentheses. If you wrote it like a to the 3rd over b and you didn't put it in parentheses, that would be wrong. Because you're saying that the 3 only goes to the a, and it doesn't. It's in parentheses, it goes to both. So this would not be correct. All right, so number 10, we have log base 3 on all of it, right? And you have 4 plus m, so that's going to be 4m cubed, because our 3 in front tells us the m has a exponent of 3. Now then minus, so that's telling us we're dividing by n to the 2nd, because this is the exponent to the n. So that's the answer. All right, last page of the notes. So a little bit of a long notes, but it's not hard. It's just a little bit time consuming. Says the change of base formula. So this is when you're given a base and you want to change it to the standard, which was 10, right? We talked about that earlier. So if you want to change a base formula to evaluate the following. So if it tells you that you have the log 2 of 25, then it's telling you that A and X, how you're going to write it out. So log base 10 of X over log base 10 of A. So what's our X here? Our X is 25 and our A is 2. So how would you write that? Log of 25 over log of 2. Because the base is 10, so we don't have to write it. Remember, we said that was standard. So here in the formula, B is an understood 10. So you can put this in your calculator. Let's see if I can open mine up really quick. Show you how to do it on a calculator. So you're going to turn it on, and you're going to put in log, the log button. You're going to type in 25 parentheses, divide by log 2. Enter. So you're going to get 4 point, and it says 3 decimal places. So it would be 644. So your answer is 4.644. Okay, so what's 12 going to be? Log of 12 over log of 5. Because your X is 12 and your A is 5. So log 12 divide by log 5. 1.544. Okay, so for the last one, I'm going to do that one really quick. You're going to get log of -4 over log of 2. I'm going to use my calculator. I know this is getting blurry. Log of -4 divided by log of 2. So it gives me an error, and it says non-real answer. Okay? So that means your answer is no real solution. Okay? So that's it. That's how you'd write it on your paper.